After 5 years of intense combat in the Pacific Theater against the U.S. Navy, the Japanese battleship Nagato readied her guns outside Yokosuka, Japan. American fighters were fast approaching, determined to sink any surviving Japanese capital ship in preparation for Operation Downfall, what was to be the largest military invasion in history. Originally conceived as a super-dreadnought, the Nagato was now unlike any other battleship of her time. Rather than featuring a main armament with mixed-caliber configurations, Nagato went all in with a devastating main battery of 8 16-inch guns, amounting to terrible destructive power that only the American Iowa-class battleships could rival. As if that was not enough, Nagato's turrets were arranged in a superimposed configuration, giving her a bizarre look reminiscent of a traditional Japanese castle. It did not matter that she'd been badly damaged in previous battles and never fully repaired. Docked and heavily camouflaged, she pointed her main gun seaward as Japan's last line of defense. Modern fleet. The Empire of Japan adopted an isolationist posture in the early 17th century after Spanish and Portuguese Catholic missionaries and Dutch merchants began to threaten the cultural homogeneity of the island and the power of the emperor and shogun. Japan remained isolated until American Commodore Matthew C. Perry forced the country to open its doors to foreign commerce at gunpoint in 1852. After this, the Japanese quickly got up to date, reaching an astonishing level of technological and economic advancement that began to rival China. Soon, Japan began to expand in the Pacific through the Imperial Japanese Navy. In the early 20th century, the Imperial Navy adopted the 8-8 Fleet Program in the aftermath of the First Sino-Japanese War and the Russo-Japanese War. This government policy considered that Japan required a battle fleet of 8 modern armored cruisers and 8 battleships to ensure the safety of the empire. Such a program coincided with the British introduction of HMS Dreadnought, a breakthrough in naval technology that changed naval warfare forever and coined a new generation of battleships that were to bear the same term. Japan reevaluated its navy and restarted the 8-8 program in 1911, leading to the development of the Fuso-class dreadnoughts and the Kongo-class battlecruisers. In 1916, with the world at war, the Imperial Navy ordered the Nagato-gata Senkan, or Nagato-class battleships, 2 new dreadnought ships, in response to U.S. President Wilson's plans to increase the naval power of the United States Navy. The class's lead ship, Nagato, named after a Japanese province, was about to change the tide of naval warfare with a series of achievements that would leave Western powers in awe. Turning heads. The Imperial Japanese Navy battleship Nagato was laid down at the Kure Naval Arsenal on August 28, 1917, and was launched on November 9, 1919. She was commissioned a year later. The Imperial Navy intended to build more warships, but the signing of the Washington Naval Treaty prevented Japan from doing so. The treaty aimed to prevent a naval arms race and restrict warship innovations. Thus, Japan was left only with Nagato and her sister ship Mutsu, but that did not prevent the Japanese engineers from innovating. Nagato became the first battleship in the world to be armed with imposing 16-inch guns. Her 8 guns were arranged in 4 twin-barrel turrets, 2 forward and 2 aft. She also became the world's fastest and largest battleship at her commission, attracting the attention of the United States Navy and European naval powers, including the United Kingdom. From the mind of Commander Yuzuru Hiraga, Nagato displaced over 32,720 tons, had a length of 708 feet, a draft of 29 feet, and a beam of 95 feet. Hiraga revisited it after the Battle of Jutland and made several modifications to gun emplacements, armor thickness, and small improvements to boiler technology that made the ship a testament to the Imperial Navy's power. Armed for battle. Nagato's power came from 21 Kampan water tube boilers, 4 steam turbines, and 4 shafts, producing over 80,000 horsepower. She could reach a maximum speed of 26.5 knots. Nagato could also achieve an estimated range of 6,300 miles at 16 knots, while carrying over 1,600 tons of coal and 3,400 tons of fuel oil. Despite her more than desirable performance, Nagato was not perfect. Smoke from the twin smoke funnels often choked and blinded sailors stationed on the bridge. The installation of a deflector and the complete rebuilding of the fore funnel with a serpentine shape did little to solve the problem. The funnel would later be eliminated when the ship was rebuilt in the 1930s to keep her updated with modern battleships. Nagato's crew consisted of 1,333 officers and enlisted men. Besides her main armament of 8 16-inch guns, Nagato was armed with 20 dual-purpose guns in single mounts, 4 anti-aircraft guns, and 8 21-inch torpedo tubes. The ship's armor ranged from 12 inches at the belt to 15 inches at the conning tower. As part of her 1930s modifications, Nagato's superstructure was rebuilt with a pagoda. These unique masts, common in Japanese vessels of the imperial era, featured several platforms built upon each other that resembled a pagoda temple. The platforms included shelters, lookouts, searchlights, spotting points, gun directors, and other optimizations that increased Nagato's combat effectiveness. She was also fitted with a catapult and a collapsible crane to launch float planes and other aircraft. Pearl Harbor. Nagato was integrated into the 1st Battleship Division of the 1st Fleet and became part of the Army-led coup of February 1936 to support government forces in Tokyo Bay. In August, she departed for China to fight in the Second Sino-Japanese War and deployed 1,750 troops of the 43rd Infantry Regiment, 11th Infantry Division to Shanghai. Days later, Nagato's float planes bombed targets across the city to support Japanese soldiers fighting Kuomintang forces. The battleship returned to Japan for gunnery training and became the flagship of the combined fleet in December 1938. 2 years later, Nagato participated in the October 1940 Imperial Fleet Review that marked the 2600th anniversary of Emperor Jimmu. As the empire expanded across Asia and prepared the surprise attack against the United States, Nagato became the flagship of Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, Commander-in-Chief of the Japanese Combined Fleet. Aboard Nagato, Admiral Yamamoto issued the code phrase Nitaka Yamanobore, or Climb Mount Nitaka, to the 1st Air Fleet to mark the beginning of the attack against Pearl Harbor. The Admiral anxiously awaited reports from the attack until Nagato was shaken by a radio report saying Tora Tora Tora, meaning the lightning attack against the U.S. Pacific Fleet had succeeded. Nagato, her sister ship Mutsu, and other battleships began sorties near U.S. territories as the American Navy readied itself for war to reconquer the Philippines. Leyte Gulf. The battleship returned to the Kure Naval Yard in March 1942. In June 1942, now under the command of Captain Hideo Yano, Nagato and Mutsu were assigned to the 1st Fleet for the upcoming Battle of Midway. The 2 sister ships served alongside Yamato, Japan's most powerful ship ever developed. Despite Japanese confidence in victory, the U.S. Navy outsmarted them and destroyed 4 of its carriers on June 4th. In response, Yamato and Nagato attempted to lure the U.S. Navy forces near Wake Island for a night engagement, but the enemy did not take the bait. Nagato then made her way to Japanese waters and retook its place as flagship of the 1st Fleet. In August 1942, Nagato was dispatched to the Solomon Islands to disrupt the beach landings of the U.S. Marines and did the same in the Caroline Islands a year later. By early 1944, Nagato avoided being hit by U.S. Navy air raids while supporting Japanese troops scattered around the Pacific. During the Battle of the Philippine Sea, Nagato managed to shoot down several American aircraft, but did little to change the battle's outcome. Still, she was intact and suffered no casualties, but her luck was quickly running out. On October 24, 1944, Nagato was overwhelmed by the attack of multiple U.S. Navy dive bombers hunting her. 2 bombs disabled several guns, immobilized 1 propeller shaft, took the life of 50 sailors, and left countless wounded. The next day, Nagato fought alongside Yamato against the American Taffy 3 Task Force Group during the Battle of Samar. She damaged 1 enemy cruiser, but had to retreat after the American victory. What followed was a restless American hunt to sink Nagato. Operation CROSSROADS. During the American pursuit to sink Nagato, her crew fought for survival to keep the enemy aircraft at bay, losing 40 sailors and over 100 wounded. She limped back to Kure for desperate repairs in November 1944. Due to a shortage of materials, Nagato was left to defend the port as a mobile anti-aircraft platform. In July 1945, the stationary Nagato was attacked by more U.S. aircraft, hitting it with a rocket and 2 more bombs. The severely damaged ship stayed at Yokosuka without repairs until the end of the war, becoming the only Japanese battleship left afloat. Fearing the ship could become the focus of Japanese nationalism, the U.S. Navy took the battleship to the Bikini Atoll in the Marshall Islands for her last voyage. She became part of several atomic tests known as Operation CROSSROADS. The objective was to study the impact of atomic strikes on fleet concentrations. Nagato survived the first nuclear test on July 1, 1946. She was over 1,600 yards away from ground zero and was only lightly damaged. For the second test, she was placed 900 yards from ground zero. She survived the tsunami generated by the explosion, but was left with a list of damages that worsened in a week. She capsized and sank on July 29, 1946. Nonetheless, the upside-down wreck has turned into one of the most prominent scuba and wreck diving locations of the past years. Nagato's might can still be appreciated in the depths below.